today was actually going to film you a, what was I actually going to film?
Big leg day.
Big leg day, but it's not actually going to be a big leg day because I am actually deloading. Yes, deloading in prep, I know. Sometimes you've got to, and funnily enough, I was like, so Meg, how are you feeling? She was like, I'm fine, but it's like, I actually saw her training and warming up, and if you see Meg, and she's not pacing around, and she's not like, you know, hyping herself up with the training, you know she's fucked. So I looked at Meg, and it's like, all last week, I was getting in bed, and I was like, waking up like this in the middle of the night, like 3-4 times, and I was definitely a lot more bloated. I was burping for like 2 days straight while I was training. I was like, yeah, this isn't right. So generally, when you actually, and I've actually covered this a lot of times, but it's good to give people like a reminder and a refresher. Generally, when you do need a deload, right? When you need a deload, what you will find yourself is there will be a few things that get in the way. One, you will likely have less energy. You will feel more emotional. You will feel a little bit more tired, which is normal. I generally get like neck pains, and you know, like when you're tired and you're like your traps start hurting and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Ed gets that all the time. That's another sign with myself anyway. I get digestive issues and I get bloated, and I actually start retaining water. So I actually stop losing body weight and I stop losing fat. That is when I know I need a reset. So I will go through my check-in with you and I'll show you what's actually happened after the first day of my deload and diet break. And the way I'll actually structure my deloads, it's actually a diet break combined as well within the structure that I set up. So I'm going to show you how I structure deloads, and I'm probably going to dig deep into that on how and whys. But for now, I've actually just done my morning steps, not really cardio, as it's just steps on the treadmill. And I'm actually going to crack on with work. So I've actually adjusted my routine a little bit now, where I wake up, hydrate, get my steps in first, and whilst I'm doing my steps, I do a lot of the replies that I need to get through first thing with a lot of people competing, and then I crack on with the check-ins. So routines change a little bit, and I find this routine actually works better when I do have a lot of people competing like I do right now. So I kind of do my activity first, then do my work. And to be honest, after my little walk as well, I find myself even more switched on to do the check-ins. So all clients are like, you know, getting overloaded with the feedback. So today's gonna be a rest day. We are gonna look at sofas. I need to go to the bank. I need to go and look at sofas. Meg's actually gonna do my hair because I'm really hairy. Might go to the barbers if we get time. So it's gonna be a day full of activities. So we'll take on the ride. But for now, I'm gonna crack on with some work. Ed's probably gonna no doubt crack on with some work as well. As you can see, actually I've got my standing desk here. That is not going to get used yet, as I am deloading. So for now, I've got the luxury of sitting this, as again, steps are reduced throughout my deload phase, but I will dig into all the details for you in there. But basically what I'm doing right now, just to kind of give you a bit of a taster, is a reduction in steps, 3 days off, followed by 3 devolume sessions, and that will actually take me across the full week, where I basically spend removing fatigue that has been accumulated through the first block of my prep. And the way I structure preps in general is 3 blocks, where push hard for the first block, diet break, reset, deload, push hard again, diet break, reset, deload, push hard again, peak week. But I'll show you all that in a bit. Time to get cracking on the check-ins, and I've got no doubts Ed's got probably loads of work to do anyway, so he's gonna go downstairs and work, I'm gonna work. Happy days. Today you're going to get to see what we do on a diet break / refeed. So the way I like to approach things in a prep is, like I said, I will show you the graph and go through it in detail. But what I actually like to do is, when I deload, devolume, I do like to run higher calories. When you are actually leaner, so if me and Meg was both leaner, we would actually push the calories on training days as well. However, because this is the first diet break of the prep and we're not quite lean yet, what we actually do is eat training day food every single day. So on our rest days, we're bringing up calories to training day food, which puts us at somewhat of maintenance. However, what that actually leads to is us actually losing weight. So yesterday was the first day of the diet break, and I dropped 1.5 pounds in weight after having a full week of basically no loss in body weight, and she's dropped 2.5 pounds. Yeah, so 2.2 pounds. So what we'll do, we'll actually show you a normal rest day diet, And then today we're basically adding an extra 600 calories to our normal rest day diet. So that will basically be a bagel, one bagel and 100 grams of rice. We don't actually have any bagels left, so I've got some American bread that I'm actually defrosted. Meg actually likes it, so we're going to use that instead. So roughly calorie wise, we are adding how many grams of, around 120 grams of carbohydrates ish, if not more.
Have you
So,
shown us new scale?
Oh yeah, I've got some good new scales as well. Meg will show you those though.
It's got a section for weighing your salt perfectly. Look at that. Normally you just can't weigh it properly, can you?
No. Excuse me.
It's
The drug dealer scale.
basically, yeah. Caesar, what can I say? He's a really naughty boy.
It's just called Caesar. I don't really follow like if it fits your macros. So if I'm doing a high day, it's never going to be filled with just shit. I don't believe that prepping and following a diet where you're kind of just looking for whatever you can fit in your macro is a good idea. To me, it would just make me hungrier. I prefer to stick to kind of plainer foods. As you'll see today, you know, it's going to be a normal full day of eating as a rest day, so we'll get your calories up as what would normally be a rest day, plus the 600 plus calories for the diet break. Right, what is good, my people? So like I promised, another update from me showing you the process and showing you my screen throughout my redemption prep. So I will go through my actual check-in with you and go through the timeline that I have set for you all. So far the process has been moving exactly as planned. Obviously we both know where I started at and where I'm at right now. So 4 weeks of aggressive fat loss has been completed. And last week we got to a point where body weight somewhat stagnated. Fatigue certainly crept in higher. As you can see, some of the feedback here started to decline, and a 6 for me is basically absolutely smashed. So this realistically is more of like this. So in general, you know, the biggest things that I do pay attention to is burping, bloating, that has been happening throughout my actual week. Also, a couple of things that I've noticed is obviously quality of the sleep has been very, very broken, and waking up pretty much from, I would say, Thursday the 9th. So it was pretty much like just over a week of sleep where it's just not quite satisfying. My sleep scores have been trending downwards, and more importantly, when I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like I've slept well, I know that the quality of the sleep is lower. So I'm not just going off the ordering here, it's more so my own feelings and thought process. As you can see here, you know, pretty consistent with fat loss, weight loss. The change visually has been pretty apparent as well. And all this has been done whilst in physiological range as well. Those that know what physiological range is of hormones, so I've been pretty much half natty throughout this process as we bleed up to this now. So again, the reason why I'm doing the diet break at this point is simply to drop the fatigue that has been accumulated through training performance being an all-time high and taking off a substantial amount of body weight. As you can see, my body weight is somewhat stagnated here across this week, especially these past few days. You know, we had 3 days, 5 days holding 249-ish. And then yesterday, after the first high day and steps being significantly lower and a great night of sleep, you know, a pound and a bit drop, which is great. I already feel like I'm a lot tighter. Resting heart rate has dropped significantly. Blood sugars are in a fantastic place. I don't really ever have any issues with my actual blood pressure. That is always pretty much fantastic, and so are my kidneys readings based on the blood work that we saw just recently. So I actually had some blood work done here the day of my client meet, so the week of 11th of June. Now we're moving on to our timeline. I did have some blood work done here and the readings came back the best they ever have been. So extremely happy. I did post up my full blood work on Train by JP forum, so if you want to have a look, it is actually in my log on there. So this diet break was actually planned on the week of 25th. I thought I could actually handle it and complete the full 6 weeks. However, knowing I have been in physiological range for a substantial amount of time now, hitting this would mean that, you know, I got to a point where I knew it just wasn't productive to continue pushing forward. So my preferred method is some rest days, an extra rest day, and then devolume sessions. The way I will approach these devolume sessions this time around, and I feel like that's a little bit of a mistake that I made in the off season, is probably not taking them quite as harshly, is a 50% reduction in volume. That is something I do with all my clients, and that is something that I believe works extremely well for myself. So the plan for this week is 3 days rest, which I'm already into my 2nd day's rest today, and I already feel significantly better. 1 more day's rest tomorrow, then we will do devolume legs, rest, devolume push, pull, rest, and back to it. So the way this will look is as outlined here on my tracker. So plan is rest until Wednesday, legs devolume session on Wednesday, Thursday off, Friday push, Saturday pull, Sunday off. That will be the last day of diet break on Sunday here, and we get back to work with hamstrings from actual Monday. We've actually got the giant coming over to trim hamstrings on Monday, which will be epic. I think Jamie is actually going to come over quite frequently throughout this prep to actually trim with me, which is very exciting. Jamie's a great friend of mine, so we're looking forward to it. So that is pretty much an overview and a little bit of the update from me to see what's going on, and obviously hitting this maintenance button from here. Then we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of fat loss, where I will aim to pretty much get about 20 pounds of body weight off. From where I am right now, 20 pounds off is going to have me within striking distance of being stage ready. So I will be aiming to be within striking distance of being stage ready up until around 6th of August. And then I have left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks until the peak week after that, where I will aim to have a very small rate of loss, aiming to truly bring a totally peeled package to the stage. So the way I map this out pretty much in a similar fashion for my clients as well. However, generally a prep would be a lot longer for my clients. So as you can see here, it was pretty much an 18-week prep. With my clients, I would opt for a little bit of longer prep. However, in this instance, I know I can get away with this because my starting point was already in an acceptable position, as I would say, as I did do a pre-prep diet, so to speak, early on in the actual year. I will do another video for you guys on how to actually plan and set up a timeline for a contest prep like this. But for now, guys, I want to show you what will go down with today's nutrition. So my training day calories at the moment are 3,900. Rest day calories are 3,347. So there will be an addition of 645 calories to low day food from carbohydrates predominantly. So that will pretty much bring us to the same calories as training day and same carbohydrates with a little bit less carbohydrates with a little bit more increase in fats across each day. So that is pretty much how it will look. In terms of actual meals, it is obviously the setup here that is outlined. So it's pretty much, you know, steak for first meal, which I had addition of bread, chicken, green beans, peppers, no extra added fats here, and here we'll have 100 grams of rice, and then we've got whey, cream of rice, berries, prawns, jasmine rice, avocado, veggies, salmon, bagels, and then cream of rice, whey, berries before bed. But we'll show you that as we go along. But for now, that will pretty much conclude my update for you guys. Let me know if there's any questions regarding this, or let me know if there's anything that we need to kind of cover. But so far, everything's going really, really well, so I'm pretty pleased with the movement of things here, and the way I have everything mapped out and planned here. I can almost guarantee, you know, there is very little room for error with the way things are planned and thought through throughout this process. Hopefully this helps, guys, and helps you pre-plan your own processes like this. And I'm just excited to show you a different package this year. I'm confident I can bring something different to the stage, regardless of what class I do. You know, I'm a bodybuilder. The reason why I'm doing it this year and taking the smaller class is just because I'm simply not big enough to hang with open boys, and it's the only year I can do this. And nothing changes moving forwards with the process from me. You know, I've been extremely sensible with the process last 18 months, and that will continue to stay this way, so I can set the right example for you guys moving forward, especially some of the younger guys that need to be patient and need to take health into consideration, just like I am right now. You know, I'm hoping to set the right example for you all as I move forward through my years of competing, and as I move forward from my years of progression. I want to show you what can be done while still being sensible. So thank you, guys, and we'll get back to the reminder of the day. Take care. Because we are departing for the day, we've got 2 meals on the go that we're going to take with us. which are the rice meals, but generally on rest day, meal number 3 would be cream of rice and isolate. But I do like to eat that seated in a calm environment. So I'm going to eat that now before we actually leave. So as you can see, freshened up a little bit, had a haircut. Today's a rest day, so we try not to wear gym attire on rest days. Makes a nice bit of a difference rather than looking like a tramp all the time. So today we're actually going to wear some presentable clothes instead and actually have a little bit of a day out. Not much of a day out really, because we're actually going to look at a sofa, then go into the bank, and then probably go down to the gym, check up on people. And that is pretty much as glamorous as it looks. Nice hair, bro.
Done in a pea-green. Do you know who that is?
Job number 1 done. Bank statement acquired. Now we're going to go and look at the sofa. That'll be good.
This one.
Yeah.
So easy to check here.
Oh yeah.
And then it brings up the head of it.
For that.
Is that comfy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that going to be optimal for recovery, bro?
Optimal. Super optimal. Oh, that's even better, that. Optimal for napping.
Sorry.
I can only do 8,000 steps. I'm already on 7,000 steps. I can't do all that walking.
If they don't like the sofa.
Listen, as long as it reclines and it's comfy, and I can nap on it, and Ed can sleep on it, it's a winner. Get cheapest one, please. Cheapest one you can find.
I don't want to scare you, bro, but one of these rugs costs £500.
What?
These rugs we're standing on, £500.
Getting the rug, mate. Zena wiping her ass on it within 5 minutes. Oh, I'm just practicing. That's generally my nap position.
Oh, you might need to get naked to make it a bit more realistic.
Naked and sticking to the sofa, sweating all over it.
I broke it. I don't know what I've done, but I broke it. It won't come down. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, stop it. So are we going blue or grey?
Next stop. Now, just feel like we've been done over. Next stop, get a bike for my nephew's birthday. Dennis's birthday. Number 3.
I think for Cuba, one of those little like pink tricycles with bells and
100% it'll look like song.
Can I have one of those for the car when you drive, bro?
Where are you?
Kurwa idioto, daj to, kurwa idioto.
It's fucking proper, isn't it? Okay.
I reckon his tactic is if he does it wrong, somebody will do it for him.
Listen, I'm not a car specialist. Not a mechanic. Let's look at our twisters. meals on the go, bro. I do like to prepare the meals in advance though. So generally I get the meals ready the night before. And then at least everything's done and dusted in case we've got to do whatever. And even whilst we're working, it's just so much easier being able to get a meal out of the fridge and just put it in the pan, warm it up, rather than having to make it from scratch. So it takes me like 30 minutes out of the day, but certainly is efficient and time effective. I'm actually glad I've still managed to keep some salmon in, because when that comes out, that's when you know you're digging in. So I reckon got about 5 more weeks left of the salmon, and when we start really pushing for condition, unfortunately that'll probably be replaced with some white meat. The question people always ask is like, how low should your food go? As low as you need to, really. You know, some preps you can get away with having more, but unfortunately sometimes you do have to dig in to get a desired look and get desired condition. So this is our meal number 4 normally. So for me, on my rest day, it's 220 grams of prawns with 25 grams of avocado and 100 grams of rice. That's Meg's meal number 2 in the actual right order, but she actually has got rice in it today. So that would have been just a carb-free meal for her today. But obviously we've done our meals a little bit of way around today, which is okay. Like, we do have our set meal structure for rest days, but because the meals are so spread out, you can pretty much have them at whatever timing. However, obviously nutrition timing is a little bit more important training day, where we do have the big calorie meals and kind of the most carbohydrates around the workout perimeter, with obviously pre-post workout nutrition and the intra-workout nutrition as well. So where you have to pay most attention to really is always making sure that you are fed around your workout perimeter. A lot of people are not really fond of keeping some carbs intra-workout, but even when my food is low, I still keep a minimum amount in, because I do honestly believe it makes a massive difference when it comes to performance retention. So I generally always keep a decent amount of carbohydrates intra as well. So even if my carbs like go down to like 200 grams, you know, 20 grams of that would be intra-workout, and then probably pre and post, and that would be it. What would normally be on meal number 5, but I'm gonna eat this now, and then I'll show you the kind of wrap up for the meals, and then I'll leave for the day. That's it. That's, you know, there's only so much we can film in a day, and I think you've already had a lot out of me. Right, Edward, coming around, show you the last meals. That's actually my whey paste. Got the cream of rice, oats marinating, and I actually made eggs. Well, made Meg's last meal. She has
Scrambled.
She has oats, dark chocolate, whey paste, and a Rice Krispies on top. So she's got like a special little pudding for before bed. I'm going to get the food ready for tomorrow, and then we're actually going into Sheffield to get some of my favourite kimchi. Those who don't know kimchi, what it is, look it up. It's, what is it, fermented veg, isn't it? It's fermented veg.
Just pickled veg.
Yeah, it's like pickled fermented veg. Very good for your gut.
Just to have the fermented.
Very good for your gut. Great for your digestion. Specifically if you have it with red meat. So, for me, the key is going to mix in that. Plenty of veggies. As you can see, our little veg mix here. That's fantastic. That's courgette, mushroom, spinach. And that will be all. Thank you as all for tuning in, guys. And I shall see you next time. Stay tuned. Plenty of content coming soon. That actually rhymed. Look at me go.
Spinoir. That's the new word for spinach. Spinoir.
Bit like the old courgette.
Courgette.